But I think these tier lists are going to change every single tournament that we have for the next kind of couple months, right? Because it's so difficult to tell. Like, immediately here we have an Omen sticks out to me, a Raze sticks out to me. Some people wouldn't place these towards the top end on the Valorando side of things, but there may be agents that you can use more on an individual basis, right, to make some big plays. So I'm interested to see here what these players come out with.
It's also a bit of a question of where exactly do you position them. I mean, in this case, for example, we see Breach right over on C. And when it comes to the opponent's team, when it comes to the defending side, I really want to see if this is going to be the spot where we see Cypher, because the vision that he just simply has with the camera, he can pretty much hold the spot alone at the beginning. And once that he sees, okay, there is actually an attack coming, he can just call over and the team can shift positions towards C spot. But in this case, of course, things are just a little bit different as we're having SOS Valorant on the attacker side first.
Orb play is going to be really important here. Keep an eye out for that. In the dev game, they were after those orbs an awful lot, particularly in the pistol rounds, to get your ultimates as quickly as possible. Just saw the Raze sneaking in, picking up the A orb, and then backing off to the site. Nothing too spicy as yet. They are all clumped up at A, though, so we've got to be very, very careful here. Nice stun coming in as well. Flash. This Raze is so blind right now. Going to get taken down pretty easily. A trade frag will come back through from short, but missing so many shots there. A little bit unfortunate. The bomb going to go down in just a second here. One would have thought. Omen does get a bit overzealous, have to say, through that smoke.
Forward
Sage putting the barrier up.
Gets the barrier up, trying to keep them out for just another moment, but already the spike has been planted and time's ticking. There's only last man standing at this point on the defender side. Only Breach, and he has to go up against 4. In this case, since this is round number 1, he might as well try, but his chances are definitely slim to none.
Not looking too good. Going to get stunned up once again. And an easy headshot for Rax coming in. That's a fairly dominant pistol for SOS Valorant, to be honest. And I think... I have a feeling, actually, though. I think Rex plays on Valorando, so I think the names might be the wrong way around here. But all the same, really, really dominant pistol. A little shaky on the retake, I have to say, from the defending side. They kind of just run in one by one and throwing themselves at the attacking side doesn't really work out. But this is what we're seeing already here. I think this is how you can use it on the attacking side as well. The camera is just so useful on Cypher, and there are some really sneaky spots that if you're not in the know, you might not recognize that there could be a camera watching you.
Yeah, and right now also the big question on how the attacking side is actually, or the defender side is actually going to play the second round, because what you see quite a lot is that nothing gets bought except for utility on the team that loses the first round here. Utility, of course, transfers over into the next round if you lose it. But oftentimes it's just a better play to make, since then you will on the third round be able to just fully equip yourself, get that armor that costs you 1,000 credits, and also of course on top of that, most of the time either a Phantom or we're going to see Vandal again.
A kill picked up here for the defending side, but the bomb going down on C. I think this site is quite difficult to retake, particularly when you are on the base pistols and things. They're maybe just going to look to find another kill or two here, but not going to happen. All clumped up, easy pickups. Chris coming in with a nice little 3k on the Guardian.
Yeah,
that's a fairly good round.
2-0 here, and now really the big question if the defending team is able now with a full buy to actually fight back. And also the important part for the attacking team is also to just get that spike down. If you are, even if you lose the round, if you place the spike down, you are in a position where you have another 300 credits per team member in the next round. And economy is super important here. We've already seen the operator on the defender side, so this is going to go straight in on C long, where of course that orb was taken previously. But it's going to be pretty difficult to breach through there, especially if there's a rotation called.
Yeah, they're definitely going for the informational kind of build here, I think, with the agents, right? Sova and Cypher out gets you so much information with the Owl drone and Spike out, respectively. They're taking things slowly. A nice aggressive peek coming in from Breaksco, though. We'll manage to find an early opener, and there's a bit of damage being done in towards middle, utility spent, but an aggressive peek kind of goes well. I think it's a little too easy to go down there. Oh, big double coming in from Click, though. They line up for him. Might just have turned the round around. Yeah,
he gets the Vandal in here, and that weapon is just so good, especially on the long distance when you're talking about that headshot capability. But of course, now we have a 3 versus 4 situation, and the defenders are still playing this pretty calm no reason for them to really push this out. So they're just waiting for Valorando to slowly push in here, which is definitely not going to be easy given the circumstances. Like a trying now, double checking on A long. So far, again, they're only holding the spot here. Now, all three trying to make their way over. The interesting part is that we are actually having one of the defender sides starting to push through short and pick that a little bit. Might come to a little encounter here in just a second if they check that out. But they have by now reached A. And it seems like the defending side didn't figure that out just yet. Zischler goes down. Chris with a kill. 3 versus 3 situation. Immediately Sage blocking the entrance and double checking on the window, trying to cover that part. And now it's on the defenders to retake A.
Yeah, Sage doing what Sage does, being very annoying. The molly as well up at heaven, gonna keep them back for a little bit of time. Smokes as well. So much utility spent. This is so well done from the defending side that they get the bomb down and they have all this ordnance still remaining. And there you go. They just jump straight through the smoke. It's an easy 2K for Looker. And suddenly now Breach finds himself all alone. He's just going to run away and go for the save. But once again, really well done on the ordnance and making sure not to waste it too early, saving it to make the retake nigh on impossible.
That was a really impressive round by Valorando. I mean, the early two, they did a fantastic job there. But in this one, being down one agent and then being able to just like come in, get the kill quickly, also wall off everything. And it was the right decision on the side of Breach too, just saving the op. If he loses that, that's 4,500 credits down the drain. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. But now there's a lot of pressure on them as they are trying to go for at least one win here. And this isn't, I mean, this is not going to be easy if they are not breaking through that win streak that we're currently seeing for Valorando.
I think very difficult to tell what side should be more prominent this early on into the game. But I feel like if you are able to kind of just out-aim your opponents, the attacking side might be a little easier for you. There's quite a Pika's advantage at the moment players are discovering in this game.
It's also a little bit of a different style that we currently see from especially the attackers. When we're talking, for example, about Cypher, I've seen a couple of teams now play Cypher on the map, and they really played aggressively around camera placement on C, just trying to hold that spot, using some of the traps to shut down potential rotations from the defender's side, trying to catch them in the back here. So that isn't really happening here. But as we are looking at this, another 3 kills. And I mean, Valorando is just absolutely on a tear here. These guys are looking fantastic. Another kill as Brexco gets claps. And they're going for the last man. That's a flawless victory right there as Rax takes down Hone. And that hurts. That hurts the defenders a lot.
Yeah, and they managed to steal away the op as well, which is pretty big. Pretty big save from that previous round. I think most of them were on like a light buy pistols, so they might just be able to purchase up into this round. But yeah, I think just looking at the agents that they picked, they are playing this comp beautifully right now on the Valorando side of things, just finding easy information and working off the back of it.
So for all of you that are a little bit newer to the game as well and haven't really spent all your time watching beta streams, one thing that's pretty important to know is that there is actually also a bit of an advantage that you get when you lose multiple rounds in a row. So for a losing round, you get 1,900 credits. Next round, the winner side takes 3K. But if you lose a second round after that first one, you get 2,400 credits. And on the third one and any consecutive ones after that, you get 2,900. So for every single round that starts, the defender side, as well as Valorant, has at least a fair amount of pocket change that they can use to buy themselves proper weapon and also armor. But it costs a lot if you're trying to get full utility and also want to buy that armor plus, let's say, a Vandal or a Phantom, which are the standard guns right now.
Opening pick coming in onto the C side. We do have this flank over from B as well. Going to pick up a 2K on the backside. Looking for more. Brilliant play coming in from Brexco. That is so well done. I think that whole round is so well done from Valorando. Something that I think we, again, saw when the devs played, right? And they absolutely wrecked all those CS pros. Brimstone's ultimate, a lot of players try and use it to pick up kills. But what they used it for there on C is to zone off the back of the site. And it left, I think it was the Sage, isolated in the tunnel area on C. and then they're just able to overwhelm the site. And I mean, the flank is perfect, but I don't even think they needed it because they had so much control already. It's just very fancy to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, it was super difficult also for Valorant to retake the spot simply because Cypher was in there immediately setting his traps up, so pushing through that quickly while time is already ticking was a huge problem. Bit of a different strategy on the defender side right now, moving out immediately, aggressive take here. Hunde gets at least Chris, but 2 of them go down immediately, third one's falling too. 4 against 1 situation as Lucker comes in and takes Zischler down. Brimstone versus Brimstone. Spike already planted. And at the same time, last man standing is trying to get a few picks here. But once more, Valorando just looking absolutely stellar in this round.
Oh, hold on. Okay. Just get taken down, but that was crispy.
Yeah.
For sure.
That would have been the play right there. If he makes that one, he's the hero. But as it stands, it's a 6-2-0. But I mean, the aggressive one was actually kind of nice. I mean, they're mixing things up a little bit. They try to be less predictable here. And at first, it kind of caught Valorando a little bit off guard here. But once again, a perfect reaction from them.
I must hold together.
Ults, of course, now also in play. We have actually 4 on the attacker side. So for everyone that is less familiar with the game, quick hint, up at the top where you see the agent profiles, everybody that has a yellow background has his ult ready. And there's one in action.
Okay, interesting. Maybe a tough angle to get away from. We'll see a 1-for-1 trade over on the A side of things, and Rocket going in, not finding very much for the Rays. But I generally feel it's a little hard to pick up a kill with that Hunter's Fury as easily as that.
And there's a quick rotation over to C now from Valorando, and they are just doing really, really well with this now, once again. I mean, they attacked A first, and then you talked a little bit about Reyes coming in with the ult and trying to just get the rocket launcher straight into A short, and there was nobody there anymore, as you pointed out, so they couldn't really get a whole lot out of it. And the reason was that Valorando was already moving over to the C side, and now they're holding that spot, and the 2 remaining players for SOS Valorant are going to have a really tough time funneling through here. They're coming in from spawn side, but all of the agents sitting on side are already waiting for exactly that move. Even pushing forward a little bit here. And getting the kill. Bragg score. Jesus, can someone stop this kid? 4 kills in the round.
He's looking really good. He is looking really good, at least aim-wise, right? But even with that flank a couple rounds ago, he seems to have the brain in there. Breach is a pretty top-tier pick as well, so this could be a real danger man if he's able to keep playing like this the whole way through.
Yeah, it's kind of getting nuts. I mean, Breach is one of them. You mentioned earlier that the tier list is still evolving, but as we already pointed out a few times, Brimstone is there. If you talk about Brimstone, I mean, the smokes alone that he provides are just absolutely fantastic, and they just last ages. 14.25 seconds of smoke duration is pretty fantastic if you compare it, let's say, to Jet, for example, you know, who just doesn't hold up in that comparison, because she only has a 3.25 smoke duration. So that's nothing. That's a fourth. So for him, Brimstone, we're going to see him pretty much in every combo for now. Same for Sage, of course, the utility she brings with the wall that she has. Also just the ability to slow the opponent down, getting the heal in, the resurrect. She's just an absolute cardinal pick here for any team.
Damage coming off the back of the nade. But here it is, Brimstone with the smokes. Kind of just keeping them at bay, keeping them unsure of what's going on. I think Valorando realised they have a fair amount of control in this game at the moment. About a minute or so just under left now as well. So really trying to fool the defending side. There is a player in at the short house going to get taken down, and that's got to be the mark, right? They get a kill over on A, and now there's 4 players in quick succession over here. Going to be down to the Rays to hold things down, and just not going to happen. Gets shot in the back of the head. Breaksco is all over the place. We are going to see the Rolling Thunder come in from the defensive side, but it's a 5 versus 3 that's just not looking all too good. As the numbers keep dwindling, these remaining 2 players have surely got to think maybe we should look for a save. Going to get stage walled off as well. I think they'd gone for the force buy here as also, if you look. Actually, no, I think it's kind of a bit half and half. Claps has an awful lot of money. Maybe going to look to get an operator in.
Yeah, they're starting to wrap around R2, trying to make sure that nobody is going to save there either. But you could see it at the beginning, especially through the minimap. Once that someone tried to push through a short on the defender side, everybody was swarming him. They came in from different angles to take him down. So team communication was absolutely stellar here. Once again, the counter killer at least. So we have Brexco down. Rex on the other hand, he gets the 2 remaining kills. And that is another round in favor of Valorando. 8-2-0. They are crushing. This is honestly just a pure display of skill we're currently seeing from them here. I mean, they're dominating this one.
Yeah.
Nice camera.
Yeah. I know,
like
it's really
that.
good. He's been doing it like every round. I wasn't sure where he'd been exactly throwing it, but now we know. Shout out for catching that one. Everyone can replicate it in their ranked games. See here. Yeah, I think this is basically what they've been working off of. The Sova, the Cypher, use some of their abilities a little early on to gain some information, and then they work off of that. They go, right, there's no one A long, so I'm just going to walk up. Breaksco's having the game of his life, so he feels very confident to just walk into these players, and he's done this pretty much every round. Going to be hidden in the cubby here as well. Click has no idea. Free kill for him. And now, once again, the burst onto the A side going to begin. He's going to look to try and find another, but doesn't spot out the raise up high. So this might slow them down slightly, but then a kill in at middle. So maybe not. It's a little all over the place from the defense.
4 versus 3, but especially the Brexco kill was, of course, absolutely sexy. If you are in that corner, you know that your opponent has no clue where you are. They push out aggressively, maybe try to take that orb, and all of a sudden... I mean, it's not a corner you would usually check, right? That's not where you would expect them, at least not at that moment in time. But at this point, still, we are once again on C. Cypher can set up a couple of traps once again to secure that. And they're starting to move in now with the remaining 3. The defender side, SOS Valorant, they really need at least 1 round win, but it doesn't look good as Lucka takes down Quadlow. Claps gets also eliminated. The orb just dominating here, as we at least have 1 counter kill from Hune.
Back away with what he's got, though, I think. Save it into the next round. It is looking a little dire here. SOS Valorant, their name kind of living up. And there it is on the flank as well. Rax going to find the final player, so no save coming through. Yeah, I think Haven is what it's showing me very early on is you have to be very careful on the defensive side. They get the 1-for-1 trade on A, which is great, because it slows the attackers down. I'm a little unsure of whether they actually want to dedicate to the A side. But then you've got a guy on B who, I guess, peeks or is in an open angle and gets taken down, and then suddenly your defense is spread so thin because you've only got 3 players and there's 3 bomb sites to cover. So either A, you have to gamble and stack 1, or B, you're going to spread the defense and then you've got like 4 players against 1. That guy's really got to pop off to hold the site. So it's a very difficult map. You've got to manage your manpower very, very well, and they're looking to do that in this round. Click getting aggressive. Oh, actually manages to find that kill onto Breaksco, even with the slowed fire rate.
Yeah, gets 2 of the kills in. And you're talking a little bit about this at the defender side. I really want to see what happens when we have Valorando on the defender side, because I want to see how Cypher impacts that, how they actually play C in particular. If they use him there with the cameras, if they have a different idea on how to utilize Cypher. And oftentimes it's said, you know, that it's difficult for Cypher to be really strong on the attacker side, but they're showing just now how much information he can provide for the team to just push down A long, for example. He has shown it every round here. On the defender side, he should have a really good position for them. Rax with another kill, takes Zishlau. That's a 3 versus 3. And now that they're moving, now that they're taking the kill on A, they actually start to shift things over again. There's another kill, though. Nicely done. Click with a 3rd one this round, taking Lucka down. And it's all of a sudden a 2v2 with Cypher being extremely low as he's trying to bring the spike over.
Difficult then, all down to the Omen. They're both very low, actually.
Yeah.
20 and 10 HP, respectively. So he could definitely do this. Knows that it's planted on C. Has a vague idea that there's one towards the defender spawn. It's just, where is Cypher? He's not sure. Oh, the tripwire going to be activated, and that is that. The smoke goes up, but it's not really needed. It gives you location away. You've got to deal with the trapwire as well. They are very pesky. They are very pesky indeed. That tunnel area may be an argument for just jumping over it, kind of, I'm not quite sure. I think it's pretty difficult for Click there. But we are seeing, so you talked about the Cypher, I just want to mention that, because I think he is one of the most versatile and interesting agents that the game has. Someone to watch who's really good for anyone out there wanting to learn how to play Cypher is Brax. So Brax plays an awful lot of this agent, and on attack, something we haven't seen yet, but he does this thing, it's called tunnel smoking, and because the cages are hollow, you can walk through them, and he stacks a few of them and catches people off guard by making like a big long tunnel of his cages, and it's really interesting to see.
Yeah, Rex with a kill against Click, opening things up again for Valorando. Not a lot of equipment on the side of the defenders. They are really starting to struggle heavily. He hasn't taken a single round yet. Once again, the vision is there, trying to shoot through the double doors. Double doors coated in armor, you can take them down, and once that you see the wood, you can shoot through them. So super important to know as well, especially if you have someone that provides some vision. 2 defenders remaining, and this is looking like another lost round for SOS Valorant.
Not looking too good. They've had a couple opportunities, I think, where they've gotten an early man advantage, found some good trades, but they're just not quite disciplined almost, right? That it's like, okay, we have an advantage here, this is a round that we can win, just need to sit back and let them come to us and use that advantage that we have. But unfortunately, I mean, this round, clearly, with it going flawless and them dealing very little damage, they didn't have much of a chance. But in some of those rounds where they have had a chance, they've lost it, if that makes sense. They've kind of thrown it away, and I think they do need to find the discipline. Sure, you're getting a little outgunned, but just rein it in a bit. If you do have an advantage, recognize that fact. Sit back on a site and wait and play the numbers game rather than continuing to take aggressive peaks. I think they get a little bit of hope, a little bit of confidence, and then they just go a bit wild. So I think they definitely need to work that out. It may well be too little too late at this point, though, with it being 11-0.
Especially on the attacker side. So we'll see if they maybe have a shot to bring a few points onto the board once the sides are being switched. But right now, things are not really looking too great. So wall is already up, 4 versus 5 situation, and the attack goes over to A with Valorando just completely abusing the fact that they have 1 on C that is pretty much, he's drawing all the attention over. So he's firing the ult out, draws all the attention over there. Now A is already taken. Defenders, they lose another one. Click goes down, gets taken apart by the AWP, and that's 3 man left standing for the defenders for SOS Valorant. And retaking that is going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, it's actually so well played. We'll see here whether they can get the retake in before we start breaking down the round. We do have this one player on the backside. Oh, Claps, no! Gets taken down by Chris. That's so unfortunate. He's also lost his teammate, and now Ray's the only one remaining. Will indeed take down the flanker, but wall's still up. There's smokes everywhere. There's 3 players sprinting at him. Not gonna happen.
Alright, so here's a quick replay of that situation once again. Last kill there. Yeah, just getting the kills everywhere. It was a fantastic line that he had there too. And then the flawless victory. I mean, you said it earlier, them just outgunning their opponent, and this is pretty much what we're seeing here right now.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. Taking a quick look at the scoreboard here. Clap's not doing so hot, as being pointed out by our lovely observer, which is certainly something they can look back on, but that round just so well played right at the end there, drawing all the attention, and I think, again, it comes down to the discipline. We'll see here in the pistol whether they can get anything done. All grouped up at C-Long, looking to just completely overwhelm the C site here, and, well, it's going to work initially. There is a quick rotation coming in from Kane on the Sage, looking to slow them down, maybe get a barrier orb in play as well. Nice little angle here ahead of the smoke. Going to find one, just get taken down, but he's bought time for the rotations. There's a big flank coming in from 2 players from C-Long that they're not expecting at all. Now into a 3 versus 2. A fair amount of utility left, and there it is. Just going to continue moving in towards the site. It's all down to Der Kotenlow on this raise. The spike planted, defuse coming in. He's got to start getting aggressive. Not going to work out. Well, that's the game.
That's a 13-0 right there. Dominant. Absolutely dominant performance here by them.